Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone. I'm Tom Flores.
This is Alexander Morris.
And this is Travis M. Baker.
And this is our first episode of Combo Number 2. Exactly. And for our first episode, we have decided to talk about
Star Wars Episode 7, The Force Awakens.
Exactly. That's what we're going to talk about with everyone today. It's been out for about, what, a little over
month.
A month?
It's been about a month. So
yeah, and we all saw it. We saw it Monday after the opening weekend. Yes. But Travis here
saw it opening night.
Yep, 7 p.m. This guy was there at 7 p.m. He was there, all the madness and craziness.
Dude, were you dressed up?
I had a t-shirt on, and it turned out we were supposed to have 7 p.m., but our time actually got moved to 8:30 because the AMC Marina Pacifica Theater messed up. But that's okay. We still get to wait in line, have that experience, talk about Star Wars for the whole time. But then I saw it again over the actual Christmas break, because you see it the first time, and, there's some things you're just like, yay, and then you're going to be disappointed a few things because you're so hyped up we've been hyped up about this movie ever since it was announced in 2012.
That was our senior year, I think. Beginning of senior year it was announced.
Your guys' senior year.
That's right.
Year.
Yeah, see, come on, man.
I was a year behind you guys.
But yeah, so that's been a long time coming. So yeah, so we want to talk about it. So, movie starts off, and I was a little worried about this because it was in control of, it moved who was in control of with Disney. Mm-hmm. I was just hoping that it starts off the way every Star Wars movie starts, da-da, da-da-da-da-da, with the, a long time ago, galaxy far, far away, boom, Star Wars, and the episode with the whole paragraph rolling through space. I'm glad it started off that way. That's the one thing I was a little nervous about with this.
You couldn't have started it any other way. That seemed like a no-brainer. It's like, surely they're going to start it off that way. That's how you start a Star Wars movie. The only weird thing was that they didn't have the similar sounding 20th Century Fox music anymore.
No, I didn't catch that.
It said it was just a silent. It was just a silent Lucasfilm logo. I'm thinking, okay, I guess the movie's starting now. We don't have the fanfare. Oh well. Well, we don't. Sorry, I'm a little far away. I was saying we don't quite have that fanfare to start us off anymore. But all right, whatever. I understand why it's not that important. It's just a corporate thing. How about the movie?
Exactly. Yeah. And the start off was cool. It started off with the stormtroopers in the transport pod, the troop dropping off on the planet Jakku. I liked that. That was cool. It's like, oh, we're about to get into a battle already.
I'm gonna be the first Debbie Downer here. I didn't like it.
The opening scene or the whole movie?
Period.
Oh, I didn't care for it either, but I did like how just those scenes started off. I'm about to get to where I didn't. I'm getting to where I thought it was.
I was like, because we're starting off with the positives, and we can definitely go with the positive here. Yeah, I'll let you take.
What I'm doing is just taking it scene by scene, but it gets really close. Yeah.
So let me get this across. Oh. I liked it. I really liked it. I liked it even more watching it the second time. I think it's the best Star Wars movie since Return of the Jedi, and I'm definitely buying it on Blu-ray when I get the chance.
I didn't like it.
I'm gonna second that. Like I already said, Travis and everyone else, I'm gonna say why I didn't like it. The reason why I didn't like this, dude. The last one that I saw was Revenge of the Sith. And I was like, ooh, that was a nice capsizer. And then seeing this, 2012, it was like, okay, so we're, what's going to happen with it? What's going to happen with it? And like Tom said, I feel like it was hyped up, I felt like there was going to be a lot more Jedi moves. I felt like there was, with the new cast.
Yeah.
You thought there was going to be more stunts and flippy doos?
No, not so much that. I mean, that would have been a nice gravy on the topping.
Just more fights, hand to hand, lightsaber fights.
I feel like there wasn't enough with the Force. I don't feel like there was enough with that in Revenge of the Sith. And I'm just saying
the amount of times it was used.
Yeah.
Okay.
The times that it was used was either in torture. Or in torture.
But here's the thing, though. That's the first time we have seen it used as torture. Yeah.
No. Darth Vader was the first one with the strangle. That's torture. That's a form of torture.
Okay. But mental torture. The way it was a mental, just going into his head. To extract thoughts. And there were, to me, 3 times that I've never seen it finally used in, its real awesomeness was one stopping a laser bolt, but not the way Vader did in Empire Strikes Back, where it bounces off, where it just stops midair like a long streak and holds there violently, and then holding someone in place and walking up to him, and then the mental torture. Yes, the strangling torture, that is torture, but those 3 instances, that are very few at the times that the Force was used in this movie were pretty like, that's finally they did it like different. Like, yeah, they thought of other ways to do it. But I can see what you mean, to use it more.
Yeah,
Plus there was Rey's, I guess the most literal, the big. I'd say this is kind of the point where the title that started to be lived up in the movie when she touches Luke's lightsaber and she has like those
Flashback.
Visions.
Yeah,
it was like, okay, her force sensitivity has been activated now.
Yeah, and like she got the flashback
like,
of the hallway where Luke and Vader first fought down on Cloud City. She got that quick image. Yeah, that image, and then hearing, I think it was Yoda and Obi-Wan's like voices a little bit.
You know, I thought that was actually one of the very few cool scenes. I thought that led the movie in my attention span. I mean, that was a very like when she's going down there and she's just getting pulled by this force
Down that hallway.
Yeah. I mean, and it doesn't always have to be coming from someone,
Yeah,
I thought that was the one good scene in that.
Because it came from an object.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I won't say that I didn't like the entire movie. I'm gonna say that there was points in it. Just I felt like I was left wanting more from that movie, not wanting more from the franchise.
Okay. Yeah.
Shouldn't that be a good thing though? That you wanted more from the movie, hence you're gonna go see Episode 8.
No. See, you didn't listen to me. You didn't listen to me. I said I wanted more from that movie, that production, but I didn't want more from the franchise. So I don't want to see any more movies. I want that one to be better.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
I guess. I'm still not quite sure, or I don't think it's been thoroughly explained which of the very specific points of what you didn't like.
Okay.
I mean, you talked about more lightsaber battles. I was fine with the one lightsaber battle in the end. For me, it was like the movie's moving fast. I knew there was going to be a lightsaber battle in the end. I mean, New Hope, we only got one battle, and it was kind of
midway and quick and just
middly and quick, and then
awesome though.
It's pretty awesome, and there's a lot more going on in that one fight than there was in any of the fights in Revenge of the Sith, in my opinion, just because it was more about the characters. And then Empire had that big fight, and then we had that big lightsaber fight in Return of the Jedi.
I got one for you. Here's something that when Tom and I went to go see it, we both, and it was instantaneous. I mean, it was kind of cool. I mean, it's not cool to be conjoined at a pessimist idea, but it was cool the fact that we bonded like that. The scene where there's just one, too, and this is weird, the prototype of and I can only say prototype because there was only one, of the lightsaber weapon deflector. Do you remember?
Yeah.
I can't think. I don't think that they actually said the actual name of it.
What do you mean?
Yeah, there is a name for it. It's like the Z6 something. There's
but
like a.
I don't even think they actually gave the name out in the movie. But remember that prototype thing that came out?
Oh, the shock thing.
Yeah.
The shock baton. That's what people are calling it. Shock
yeah.
TR8R that's being called on the internet.
The stormtroopers thing.
Traitor.
Yeah, I didn't. When we first saw that, and when I saw it in the trailer, I'm like, okay, it's a big thing that can shock someone. To me, if that's that, first of all, the shock baton's that big, that should just electrify and kill someone. If it's that big. But two, it's like, why? Why does one dude have that? And if you're just saying, okay, he's the leader of that platoon, he's the captain or lieutenant. Okay, still, why though? Because to them, there's only one Jedi left, Luke. But they don't know where he is. And so then I'm thinking like, okay, then still, why does one guy have it? There's no need to have it. There's no need for any stormtrooper to have a shock baton like that, ready to deflect a lightsaber. And if it's that strong that can deflect a lightsaber, touches you, it should kill you. Then if it's that strong to deflect a lightsaber.
So I'll give the benefit of the doubt and say that like an average fan that Travis is.
Mm-hmm.
Not that you didn't watch it as anything else, but he's an avid fan.
If it's any consolation, I'm more of a fan of Star Trek than Star Wars. Like, if I was held to a gun, if I had a gun to my head and I asked which I like better, I would say Star Trek. That being said,
I'm the fanboy. I'm a fanboy.
Oh, okay. However, let's say that this weapon couldn't kill people, but it could deflect lightsaber. Okay, let's just say for the sake of time.
Yeah.
Dude, why did it only come up in one scene? And it didn't even make sense. And that was my thing. story-wise, the movie didn't make sense in so many points.
Mm-hmm.
I would.
And I'm just starting off with that one because he just randomly showed up. Traitor. Now I have this thing. Now I'm dead.
I throw my gun down. Then I have this thing.
Oh, okay, yeah. And then I'm gone. And then that thing never comes back.
Yeah,
I think
no one else has it. And he is, and the only stormtrooper besides him that it got lost like screen time was Captain Phasma. She outranks him. Why doesn't she have it?
Where did she go?
Oh yeah, we'll get to that.
I can concede that it might have made more sense, more thematic sense, if Captain Phasma had the.
Let's start off. Where did she go?
Yeah.
To the next movie.
Exactly. See,
and then, okay,
you wonder why I say.
And here we go. So we're not jumping all over the place between what we didn't like. We're gonna start in order of it. Yeah. The first part is the character Kylo Ren. Yeah. When he first came on the scene, walked down the shuttle, down the ramp, walked in, it was a badass. When he stopped that laser fire, I was like, damn!
It's Darth Vader 2.0.
But then all of a sudden, though, after that scene, we just see nothing but just a little brat. Like, no. I was so scared of this dude. I'm like, this guy's tough. This guy I don't care. I'm not afraid of you, man.
Actually, for me, that worked. And I was telling you guys, and I'm going to say this straight up.
Go ahead. I don't want to hear it sideways.
He's the best villain we've got in these 7 movies. Darth Vader in A New Hope. We didn't get the depth of Darth Vader until the end of Empire. But he was just straight up, I'm a bad guy. Oh, look, I have a lightsaber. I have my own TIE fighter that's more special than the other TIE fighters. I can choke people. But that was it. That's all we got from Darth Vader. He was just a straight up bad guy he was just an SS officer. And we didn't actually get any depth with him until the end of Empire. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh, now he's a more interesting character, but he never got interesting until the second movie. Here, we actually got an interesting villain right off the bat, considering that he is conflicted.
So
I did like that.
Girl, that's interesting.
First of all, that's sexist. That's
okay. Okay. To any female, that is incorrect of me to say. If he's emotional, he's interesting.
Yes, if he has emotions, if he has an actual character, if he has an actual character arc.
No. I'm not saying emotions as in plural. I'm saying emotional as in one singular emotion that he's got conflicted inside of him, making him a feeble person in comparison to his adversary. Because they're gung-ho, I am not going to stay away from this. This is wrong. Mm-hmm. With Finn, he had that for a good amount of time, especially during the end. It's not like, oh, you're here now? I think I'm going to go to your side. With Kylo Ren, it wasn't until he killed his dad that he's like, well, I'm still crying over here. I just want to let y'all know. And I'm red.
Well, you get the feeling that he joined the dark side for kind of the wrong reasons. It's more of a fit of frustration. Because, I don't know, how would you imagine if Han Solo was your dad?
But wait, so... Okay, so...
Because he's not Anakin Skywalker from the prequels.
What's the right reason? Because Anakin joined for the wrong reasons.
Yeah, there's no right reason to join the dark side.
No.
Anakin joined because of a lie and because of bad character writing, because we knew he had to go to the dark side. Well, here's the thing about Anakin, though. Anakin, we didn't like his character because we expected... a better character arc would have been, he was a good person to start off, and then he got seduced by the dark side. But then we realized, okay, he's just a psychopathic sociopath, which I don't even know.
So now we're gonna get back to the movie without being
whines and like crazy. He says, it's not fair that Obi-Wan's telling me what to do. Kylo Ren.
What? Kylo Ren is a princess that got a fortune and couldn't handle it. If we're gonna break down
a pissing contest with the general the entire movie,
and then who? Okay, so another point here on the cons. His master is
Lord
someone.
Snoke?
Yeah. Is someone who's not physically real. we don't ever.
He was a hologram the whole time.
Yeah, he was a hologram the whole time, and I was glad he wasn't a 20-foot monster.
I was
hoping for that
because you're talking about uniqueness and difference, in which I do agree with both of you on that. With the whole catching it with the Force, that was awesome.
And then later on when he held Rey in place, just by held her in place and walked her through. He had two cool moments, but the overall other scenes of his character just brought the awesomeness of his baddest character just down, like Captain Phasma.
Yeah, and so that's why with Phasma,
God,
what
Phasma was underused.
They didn't even use anything on her. Just you're in a corner. Okay.
See, here's the thing. I think the big problem with that was actually the marketing they made Captain. It's like, oh look, we got Brienne of Tarth from Game of Thrones to play Captain Phasma. Oh look, Captain Phasma toys, and then we saw the movie, and we're like, okay, she doesn't really get to do that much.
She got tackled and then thrown down the trash chute.
Part of me wonders if
that's not sexist.
If the
you calling me sexist?
Because in her character, the beginning was silent, cool, what should we do? And she's ready to kill. She's just a badass, stone cold, like a wall. I get a Wookiee being able to tackle her down. Wookiees are huge. I get that. She can get tackled down.
8 foot.
Almost a 9, I bet.
Yeah,
and I get Chewbacca being able to tackle her down. That's duh. But that could have been a cool little fist fight right there. She's tough. She's not all just, I walk around in my chrome armor with a cape and my gun. No. I could fight. And then she had a moment, because when they were in the control room, she was left alone by at least 9 feet with Finn and Han and Chewie at the other side, and they're talking. That was her moment to strike back and just, in a good fight scene of some sort. But then she doesn't do anything. She just stands there. And then they're like, is there a trash chute? Oh yeah, there's a trash chute. And that's it. And it's that's it.
I think with that, it's we were hyped up to see who the Chrome Trooper was going to be. And personally, I think if they downplayed her in the marketing, she would we'd have just okay, so she's the henchman.
Just make her an actual badass.
She's a stormtrooper henchman. Well, that's true.
That's just because.
So.
we really didn't get to. In my opinion, we really didn't get to see Boba Fett do much until
Return of the Jedi, and then he gets offed.
He gets offed in the dumbest way.
I know. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, we're talking about the Force Awakens.
Well, okay.
And I'm still trying to figure out why is the master of your interesting evil villain
Lord Snoke. Yeah. I'm trying to make sure that's who you're talking about. The big Lord Snoke.
He doesn't get a name because he wasn't a real person.
Yeah, they call him Lord Snoke.
I know he's Lord. Yeah, I know what they call him. But if he's not a real person, that means they're talking to nothing. I was looking forward to. I thought he looked so real in the hologram. I was like, oh man,
yeah. That's what I didn't like. I didn't like that. I mean, I get in 30 years in their universe, technology advances. We saw that with the Death Star Part 2 Star Killer thing.
Obviously, it doesn't because it had the same weakness.
Yeah, same weakness, right? And the thing is, though, it's
the same person shot it.
No, they did the same way.
No, in array of characters.
Oh, in a type.
Yeah,
okay, I get what you mean.
The same.
In an X-wing, a character in an X-wing.
A character in an X-wing shot.
Yeah. That's what
the thing about why I didn't like the hologram. At first, when I thought he was that big, I'm like, that is cool. This is a villain that I want to see. Why is he that big? He definitely can control the Force then. And you can imagine how powerful he is, but then all of a sudden you see it twitch. And I'm like, no, he's a hologram. I'm like, but I know how holograms look in Star Wars. They're blue. Yeah. They're blue. Why isn't it blue? If you're gonna have that movie which had a lot of homage and references to the original trilogy, had paying so much respect, that big thing is the holograms are blue, not crystal clear, awesome 5K. Well, back would probably be a 500K by then. Picture quality. To me, I'm like, oh well, okay, he's just an old dude.
I don't mind that it was he was a hologram. I just wish I got to see him a little more in action, a little more in person.
And we'll probably have to wait till the next one.
Here's the thing we have to consider because it's a trilogy.
Yeah.
This is part, and we knew this coming in. They're not. We knew that they were going to be making 9 movies out of this because that's just how Star Wars is done. We knew they were going to go to 7, 8, 9. So it's like, okay, Supreme Leader Snoke, we're going to see more of him in Part 2 and 3. And I'm guessing the same thing with Captain Phasma. So,
well, she didn't get off. She just got thrown down a trash chute, so she's alive. Everyone.
Well, you never know. She could have gotten eaten by the trash man.
Oh.
the thing is, it's like when the very first Star Wars, because we're gonna, when the very first A New Hope came out,
Okay.
it could only really just be appreciated as just this really fun action adventure thing in space. There wasn't maybe some people are like, okay, that was an interesting story, if you've read Joseph Campbell's work, but it's a very simplistic story. And like my dad told me, when he first watched it, they just watched this as this fun, really fun romp. But the depth never really came until Empire. And then you're like, okay, this is some serious stuff. There's a bigger story behind this. Because if you really think about it, A New Hope never needed a sequel. They could have just blown up the Death Star, and that could have been the end of it. And they're like, okay, that's Star Wars. But then they made a sequel because it was so successful and a good movie on its own.
But since this is Episode 7, we want the depth, right? Since it's Episode 7, we have already a story built up. We do. Mm-hmm. It's not like this is the first Star Wars ever to come out. This is the 7th Star Wars movie to come out. So we already have all that depth and ready to go. So we don't. I get simplicity, but you still gotta re-expect. We know what to expect. Everyone knows what Star Wars fans expect.
Expect loose threads for the later movies.
Do you want? Okay, so and this is why I said what I said earlier, because I don't need a deep, explanation to R2D2 and C3PO. I just don't.
No.
Oh, there were 7, 8, 9. Yes, there's more movies coming out. We know who they are. It's self-explanatory. Yeah. Just like with the Force, it's self-explanatory. Everything is self-explanatory.
Well,
we don't need any depth from the bad guy. He worships the person who was simplistic.
Well, then what is to make him different from Darth Vader as just being a straight-up bad guy?
Nothing. He wants to be Darth Vader.
But he can't. That's the thing. He can't.
No.
He wants to be Darth Vader, but he can't.
Yeah, okay.
That's his character. He's a wannabe Darth Vader, but he can't do it, no matter how hard he tries.
And that's why we call him emotional.
That's why I like him. It's something different, and it's not as annoying. It didn't annoy me very much. It didn't annoy me at all, because you know what was annoying?
Huh.
It's all Obi-Wan's fault. He did all this. It's not fair. He never listens. That's what we got the last time around.
But okay. So the only difference between what I'm saying and what you're saying is the person playing the role. That's it. Because this guy, he complains his dad wasn't there for him. You don't understand me. It sounds like he has daddy issues.
That could be it. Could also be he got rebellious as a teenager, which is what happened. He was told about the light side of the Force, then he got seduced.
90210? I thought this was Star Wars.
I like a different villain. I like that we have a different villain. I like that the dark side, because he's struggling with the dark and the light. He even says, I feel the light calling out to me, and I think we're going to see more of that struggle later on.
But it should have been in the first film. Something. Maybe, instead of directly killing his father, he misses him and gets him in the gut because he can't stand it to hit him in the heart because he can't do it quick enough. That would be signifying. It would understand that he still has the confrontation, or before that, he makes some kind of move that actually shows not just his speech, which was annoying. If it was more...
Shows he's at conflict.
Yeah. If he was making moves that was conflicting his inside, his symmetrical dark side, whatever you want to call it, his zen, then I would see that. There wasn't enough... action. It's like when a president goes into office. There was a lot of talk. There wasn't enough force. There wasn't enough of
and with Kylo Ren too, when he was explaining to Han right before he offed him that I need your help, like he's getting all emotional and crying. To me, I was already saying like he's playing a trick. I know what he means by I need your help. Like I mean, from the get-go, I already saw Han's death right when him and Chewie split, and then he walks on the bridge, and I'm like, hey, this kind of looks like the setup for Empire Strikes Back. That bridge looks like Empire Strikes.
Han Solo's going to be, or Harrison Ford's going to be released from his contract. He's never going to have to make these dopey Star Wars movies again.
See,
because he wanted to be off in Empire, but
no, Return. He wanted to be off in Return.
No, he wanted to be off in Empire. That's where they froze him in carbonite, but then they got him in Return. Correction. Anyway.
It's just that character. I didn't like that character. Okay, you said that the character in Skywalker, he was getting all like, he doesn't listen to me. He doesn't do this. This one, I thought he was less in character. Like he went down further notch than Anakin because he's having temper tantrums and destroying his own ship.
That's what happens when he didn't get his way. He didn't get his way, so therefore he was like tearing it up.
Yeah,
His troopers were supposed to get that droid on the planet, and they didn't. Vader would have probably just simply, you have failed me for the last time. But he's not.
Awesome.
He's not Vader though. He's a wannabe Vader. He can't be Vader, so instead he just tears up his lightsaber and tears up the shit up in his office.
Okay. Let's when I saw the light. Now that we've talked about the dark side, I was expecting a little more of Force from them, especially. There was one Force move that was made, and that was to pick up the lightsaber at the end of the movie.
Oh, her when she got it from the snow.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was expecting that multiple people, especially with the small little Yoda. That was cool.
I felt like that was the discount Yoda for the movie.
Yeah, I felt like that was an homage to him because now he's passed, and we're in a new generation.
She had so much detail.
Yeah.
Maz Kanata.
Yeah.
That was her name.
Okay, Maz Kanata. She was cool, and I love the scene when they're first entering that whole entire
one shot. I loved it.
It was cool, and then I felt like that reminded me of because I have played on Xbox 360. And this is way back, the Star Wars games, but I just felt like it was great that scene with her, and I just was expecting more. Like I said, I was expecting more from this film, but it didn't make me want more from the franchise.
Yeah,
and I hope that doesn't offend anyone because I tried to look at it in all lights.
Well, yeah, and that's what I tried to do going into it, but what got me to first I'm like, this is a great, like they said in the first scene, I was like, okay, I'm digging this. They attack the settlement, they just tear shit apart. I'm like, this is cool. All right, cool. And then right when Poe Dameron, he was saying like, so there's that moment pause where he's on his knees in front of Kylo Ren. He's like, so who talks first, you or me? I'm like, okay, that was funny. He should have shut up. He shouldn't have said anymore. Then he gets pulled away. He's like, because I can't hear you over your muffler. I'm like, no. I was like, great. I'm done. Right then, I was like, really? I'm like, okay, now I know I was like, oh gosh, I hope I'm not expecting this. And then it came true. I was like, because there was too much humor.
Was it because like people normally don't talk like that?
It's not that more to talk. Yes, because the thing is this: in the Star Wars universe, to me, what I've seen in the Star Wars universe, the comedic moments come not from the banter, but from the one-liner, like. Han Solo's character, he had the one-liner, like, never tell me the odds, and he'd be like, like, little moment. Obi-Wan Kenobi's, like, always on the move. He'd have little, like, like, funny quick moments. Or when Yoda, for example, he didn't say anything, but when he went to go see Palpatine in Revenge of the Sith, after Palpatine, definitely turned all Sith with looking and everything, he came by and just shrugged his shoulders and just knocked the crap out of the two guards. Everyone laughed. Those kind of moments, the one-instant moments, not the quick banter of lines like Avengers. It's not that.
I actually, speaking of Avengers, I'm going to make a comparison here, and I think you guys will appreciate this.
Yeah.
But in the first Avengers, and so our audience gets kind of a clear of what they're looking for, in what we're saying. So when the Hulk has that moment of puny God.
Oh, he took on Loki.
Yeah, he's smashing. Yeah. That was a hilarious. It was one-liner. Here, the one-liner was
traitors.
So, no, that wasn't it. That wasn't.
Oh, funny. The one line was so who talks first?
So you or me.
And then that's it. Then he kept going, which was like,
yeah.
And then after that, it just went downhill after that for me.
It almost made me think of Spaceballs.
Oh god! You think about it. It looked like that scene at night on Spaceballs with the setup and the lighting. Actually,
Yeah. And that's I just
I don't know why that did not bother me. But then again, I like that. I mean,
Well,
some
I
people
like
have
banter.
said it felt a little Whedon-esque, like Joss
because of
Whedon.
the banter.
If anyone
Well, to me,
which I don't know. Maybe it's because I like Joss Whedon's kind of writing that maybe it didn't bother me as much. I didn't even remember that line where he's like, "I can't hear you over your muffled."
Oh, because
until you mentioned
he
it
did
just
say
now.
it quickly because he was getting pulled and dragged away, so it was a quick
pulled
like
quickly,
that.
so I didn't.
And because to
take
me,
notice.
the humor, I'm like, why is Star Trek humor in a Star Wars movie? Yeah, I know JJ directed both, and Star Trek
J.J.
has
Abrams Star Trek
yeah,
humor.
that Star Trek has the banter, the dialogue banter between people. That's what Star Trek is. And if you look back at the older
And
episodes
that
and
was
movies,
new for
that's
those
what it
movies.
is.
That they didn't have that kind of banter normally.
A little bit, but not
shows.
as much. Not as much.
Not as much.
But the Star Wars, it's a one-liner thing, and then this to me, I'm bringing it in. I'm like, to me, I was just thinking, wrong movie, wrong franchise, wrong sci-fi.
New characters.
Okay, and then here's the one thing. This is my big con. There was some good stuff I like, and I'll get to what I did think I was positive idea-wise for the like. Oh, like that's cool, and now concept is cool idea. But the big thing that got me just fired up and mad was Finn. Because here's the thing.
Oh,
No. I know. Here's the thing. He saw his friend die. That whatever that stormtrooper was who got shot right in front of Finn and put his bloody hand over his helmet. That was cool. That means that was his friend. That was the only thing keeping him to the First Order, keeping him in contact with the First Order, keeping him involved in it. And the scene, it was a white stormtrooper outfit with the blood on it. That was cool. I was like, okay, that's cool. And he wants to get out of there. He breaks out a resistance prisoner. Not just any resistance member, like the resistance fighter, the best pilot in all the resistance. He breaks them out. He's like, I need you out of here. Let's go. Like, I want to get as far away as out of here. You're my guy, because you hate the First Order too. Now I hate the Force. Let's get out of here. Like, okay, they get out of here. And then, the TIE fighter crashes on Jakku and everything. And he's like still trying to figure out how to get out of here. Like, I gotta get out. Girl. Okay, I'm here. He sees a girl.
Well,
and that's what changes it.
He also saw the droid that Poe mentioned.
But it's
because it showed him fighting the girl, which of course is like this girl fighting a bunch of people. Yeah, that's going to attract some attention.
But then he's just checking her out, and he's like, and then when they're trying to leave on the Millennium Falcon, he's like, so during a combat situation too, he's like getting in the co-pilot. He's like, hey, so you got a boyfriend or something? And I'm like, really?
That wasn't in that scene. That was when they were like doing
in the Millennium Falcon getting away.
Okay, but it was still...
that was when they were doing like repairs after they got away.
But that was still that still bothered me because his goal is to get as far. He's willing to go to backwater planets to get so far away from the First Order. But a girl crosses by your path, and this is not like first time I saw a girl, like, because in the original trilogy, all stormtroopers we presume were male. In the original trilogy, we presumed all stormtroopers were male. The Empire is a male dominant.
The galaxy was male.
Since Captain Phasma is a female and she has the rank of captain, obviously there's women up and down the place. Women have in the First Order. It's not the Empire anymore; it's the First Order. So there's women. So this isn't the first woman he's seen. But for some reason, girl walks by and he's like, "Poon, I'm here. What's up?" I'm gonna forget everything that actually was like. I'm terrified.
I did not see it that way.
That's how I saw it.
That's not how I saw it. I mean, I caught the boyfriend line, but to me, that felt like a relatable moment, considering that, like, okay, maybe if I was in his position, maybe if I was in his position, it's like we have just gotten to know each other, we've just gotten to respect each other. The thought probably would have crossed my mind in that moment, but he was so still, early. He was
so thin. It was. I get that.
It was after everything had calmed down.
If it was later on, he's all like talking to her, like like I like you. Okay, but that has to be later. It was in the first. Within the first hour of knowing each other.
It was within.
He's thinking with his Johnson, with his manhood. He's like, I'm not gonna think with my head. I'm gonna think with my other head now.
The thing that...
It's the beginning of the second act. It actually seemed like a warranted moment. It's like, all right, this is our calm down moment for this kind of little small...
It was too soon, though.
You said this earlier. You said that it was fast-paced.
Very fast-paced.
Yeah, I think...
The movie at fast-paced, yeah.
No. Here's my thing now. I haven't been able to describe it. Now, you saying that. The reason why I had an issue with the movie, not the continuity, not the writing. Well, this is a part of the writing. The pace of the movie is so fast-paced, I can't remember what just happened. And so the whole entire movie went by so fast that when I leave the movie theater, I forgot that I was even sitting down with popcorn. The only thing that I remember during that day, at that theater was getting the combo number 2. That's it. That is it. The movie went by so fast, and they blurted out everything. Nothing seemed important enough to emphasize on. Nothing was emphasized.
I can understand your complaint.
It
didn't bother me as much, but I remember thinking going out of the theater when it was like, it was over, and I remember thinking, granted, I was waiting out line for like a few hours, but I came out, I was like, wow, that went by pretty fast. Oh wait, J.J. Abrams directed this movie, and that's just how he directs movies. I mean, you watch...
make it good.
Maybe not, but I felt like, for the first Star Wars movie, we've done slow. It was called the prequels. We've done slower pace with boring-ass conversations done in shot, reverse shot with uninspired
But think
walking.
think of why it's that slow pace. It's because Star Wars, it's a space opera. It's like that epic feel. Epics, if you watch any of those like classic, cast of hundreds movies where it's an epic, you stretch out the dialogue. It's a space opera. That's why Star Trek is so different from Star Wars, because Star Trek isn't a space opera.
Star Trek was not like, to see Star Trek as fast paced as that was pretty jarring. I will say,
but it works because Star Wars needs that nice slower pace, because here's how they.
He's talking about the Abrams movies, not the TV shows.
Here's how they related Star Wars, like overall. It's like it's sci-fi fantasy, so you can compare it to Knights. And in Knights, you stretch out the thing when involving dialogue between knights. So in Star Wars, since it is a space opera, sci-fi fantasy, the dialogue in the first 6 made sense to me, because you can strain it out, you can pull it, stretch it out. With this,
you didn't get to enjoy it. It was a microwave, and we wanted an oven.
Here's the thing about the way.
Nice, by the way, I like that.
Yeah, I wanted a turkey, and you gave me fried hot pocket. Yeah,
you gave me a hot pocket.
No, not normal hot pockets either. Not the ones that like you just bought from the store and now you're gonna go eat it. It's like it's stuck to the freezer, and then you put it in the microwave, hoping that 5 minutes would make it better.
You know what? Though that still makes me hungry for something.
Anyways, Travis.
With that description.
Okay, here's the thing about those first 3 movies, which is what I really appreciate. Which is what I appreciated about this new one. See, the first 3 movies, and people had dialogue, especially in 5 and 6. First of all, it was watchable. It was watchable, and by watchable, like if you look at the prequel movies, the way George Lucas did those like conversations, they were either walking in a hallway, and then they stop to look out a window, and then they do shot, reverse shot. That's because they were up against green screen. Or they're sitting on a couch, but they had no inspired way of doing it. These guys, the way they did it in Force Awakens, they were doing stuff when they were talking. They were multitasking. They were moving the plot along.
They were moving, but those conversations in the prequels were still way better than the dialogue in this movie, because continuity.
Absolutely disagree with that. Absolutely disagree.
Like I said, here is the big thing for me. It moved by so fast that there's a reason why it's not getting nominated. It moved by so fast that I forgot it happened.
And you're saying for best screenplay, best directing, best. I was expecting that. It's the Academy Awards. They nominated the George Miller Mad Max movie.
See, we're getting into 2 different topics here.
Well, you mentioned there's a reason it didn't get nominated. And
What nomination are you talking about?
It could be any nomination.
Well, it has 5.
It has 5, mostly in technical categories and music.
Okay. So are you talking about a screenplay nomination or a picture nomination? Because that's the confusion.
You brought it up, so
that's why the confusion.
No. It's cool. It's cool. Just screenplay wise.
Okay, screenplay.
Yeah. But again, and you said space opera, so I mean, its legacy is that.
And that's why I'm saying
we're talking about the screenplay.
I know that's what I'm saying, because a space opera. That's why to me, fast pace only needs to be in the battle sections of Star Wars. And the dialogue sections, because it's an opera, it's like that grand thing of almost in Shakespeare, people are walking across the stage and talking. Exactly. And that's why when I said Star Trek, the fast pace worked because of how different they are. I don't see Star Trek as fantasy. It's not.
Yeah.
Star Trek is a sci-fi political, like politic thing, because they have those discussions. To me, Star Wars is sci-fi fantasy where I can lose my mind and not think this is not real, this is fantasy. There's the Force, there's lightsabers, like knights, of the round table duking it out for honor and justice. The actual good and evil.
See, to me,
that's why we're saying the fast pace didn't work for us. That's why.
See, to me, I find your argument makes no sense, mainly because, like, when I think of Star Trek, I do not think fast-paced at all. I mean, yeah, the episodes are done in 40... I'm talking about, like, the core of Star Trek. The episodes are, like, 45 minutes long, and not a whole lot of them are action-packed, but it's more focused on the writing, because TV budget limitations. So, those shows being slower paced is why some people my age don't like it, because it's boring. But Star Wars... that is something that I can imagine being a faster-paced thing, action-packed, not too bogged down with the political stuff, with too much science fiction themes and allegories. I just want to. I mean, it's mostly this is what the prequels got wrong. It's a good guys versus bad guys kind of thing. Granted, they have to add a little more to that now that we've done that narrative in the original trilogy, and we need to make that a little more complex, which actually leads to my biggest criticism. I'm 41 minutes in, I'm finally getting to my biggest criticism of the movie, which is so ironic. There wasn't enough politics in it.
In Star Wars?
In Force Awakens, my biggest problem, and I'm sure you guys might agree with me. I don't even, or maybe you haven't thought of this.
I didn't actually, because you said that. I didn't think about that. What the politics of Star Wars?
Okay. What is the resistance to the Republic and vice versa?
Oh.
What is the First Order an anti-Republic or anti-rebellion, or do they control...
Yeah, so why is it called the Resistance when there's still a Republic?
Like, is the Resistance...
funding them.
Yeah, is the military of the Republic?
We did talk about this.
Yeah, no.
He brought up the topic. He was like, so why is it that they look so broke down when they're being funded
by the Republic?
Yeah.
And why are they called the Resistance? I get them being a separate but same entity of the Republic, but when you're naming the Resistance, I'm thinking, crap, First Order just won. That's what I'm thinking. If you're called the Resistance, First Order won. Empire's back, right? Because that's why they were called the Rebellion. But the Republic's still in power. The First Order is the Resistance. Why are you called the Resistance?
I mean, someone pointed out, it's like, okay, if when the rebels realistically, even though we probably shouldn't dwell too much on realism when it comes to Star Wars, because, space fantasy. I wouldn't even call it sci-fi. I just call it fantasy in space. Not too much actual science fiction. But anyway, it would have been very easy if they just had 5 minutes max to show a map of the galaxy. It's like, okay, First Order controls this region.
Oh, what's their territories?
Republic controls this region. After the Death Star blew up and the Empire was defeated, well, it never really went away. It just got fragmented, and these are the more that's what I thought. It's like, okay, this is a fragment of the Empire. And it's like the reason why everyone's so young. These must have been like the privates.
Oh, who got bumped up fast?
They got bumped up fast, and they're more radicalized, which is what I got with General Hux's big speech. We will destroy the Republic.
The movie went by too fast. Is what I was saying earlier.
It was like a scene. Too fast. It was like a scene got left in the cutting room floor.
Actually, guys, just reminded me something about the Republic. I was talking to a coworker about this. So, when we see the Star Killer in action for the first time, it destroys 5 planets like that, right? Like nothing. When we saw it in action the first time, that was Coruscant as one of the planets that got destroyed. Did you guys see that? Notice that? That was Coruscant.
I wasn't quite sure if it was Coruscant.
That's Coruscant. And there's the problem. I was talking with a coworker about this. He was like, if Coruscant got destroyed, that's huge, because Coruscant is the Republic.
Well, that leads to a bigger problem. What were those 5 planets? They said, we will destroy the Republic, and they launched the beam, and then they destroy 5 planets. We're like, okay, what were those 5 planets?
Other four.
It went by too fast.
Because one is Coruscant.
Yeah.
What are the other 4?
They didn't take 5 minutes for General Leia to say...
What were those 4 planets that were so freaking close to Coruscant? I don't remember seeing them that close in the overscale maps of Revenge of the Sith of the prequels.
Or was that J.J. Abrams just trying to make it easier for
Impactful.
us to understand?
But yeah,
like when
that was
Kirk dropped off in the planet, and Spock said, "Oh, I could see Vulcan blowing up from this planet." How far away?
Then that's just
could that
making
just,
the writing easy. Like that's just the writing thing.
Could that just be making it visually easy for us to understand? Is that JJ's way of
just
doing
show
that?
how powerful it is?
I don't want to bring Star Trek too much into this. And like
it's like unfortunately it should kind of happen, since if we're going to talk about this movie in depth, we should also talk about how JJ directed the movie, and that's what we were saying. It's like. He
has no originality. He just took the blueprint, the copy and paste cookie cutter from Star Trek, and put it in Star Wars.
That's not what we were saying. It's like, well, we saw him do this in the 2009 Star Trek movie, and I wonder if his style for that was
lens flares,
merely, which he didn't do too much of in
but
this
that's what you're saying. Like it's the repeat. Because of the repeat of his style, you'll see those moments again.
Because directors usually have like signature styles. It's like, okay, it was shown this way. Something was shown this way, and he shot that the same way he did in this other movie, and that's merely what I'm saying.
Like the cookie cutter. I said he has a blueprint to his style.
Oh, and he's repeating.
And he was taken, and so Star Trek is one of his famous movies up to date within the last decade.
Yeah. His second movie.
Yeah. But I'm just saying, like, we're talking about Star Trek.
Yeah.
We're not talking about any other, because he's done other movies.
Yeah.
But we're comparing it to Star Trek.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just so we're clear, because I didn't see them, and I don't want to make the comparison.
Just in his direction, just like the things we saw, and there are some good things we can mention. Like the Star Trek movies were very good on like one shots. There were a lot of really great oneers in this movie.
That's not what this is about.
Okay.
I'm saying he took the same ideals.
Like the lens flare.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. That's why I said
there wasn't a
flare.
lot of originality when he took this project on.
Well,
he didn't do the lens. The only time I remember the lens flare was when
Kylo
Ren was watching on his ship and the thing was coming by.
What Alex is getting at, and what you were saying too, is what both of you are saying, is that we saw a repeat in a similar way from what he's done before. Mm-hmm. And that comes down to, like you said, the director's style, because in all his films, from Mission Impossible to Star Trek and Super 8, they all have lens flares. So that's why we expected in the trailer, when I saw a lens flare, I'm like, yeah, this is JJ, lens flare. So when you saying that, why they showed 5 planets,
all very close to each other,
is because it showed the similarity, just in a different angle shot, like in the reboot Star Trek, with Vulcan right next to that other planet getting destroyed. So there's the comparison. He just did it in a different way, but the same way. That's why you're saying like cookie cutter, because it's just a repeat.
Yeah.
Like,
so
like it was just, what I was getting at is like it was a very simple way of showing us at once that this Star Killer
is destructive.
Is very destructive. Look, it's blowing up. You say
5 at once. Five
planets at once, and I'm going to show you all of that in the same shot.
I get what you mean.
Close to another planet where the Resistance watched it.
Yeah.
So that's
I got all.
And they didn't take like a minute to say, "Oh goodness, those were like
that was Coruscant. That was Coruscant."
Or those planets were where the governing bodies of the Republic were. The Republic is gone. The Republic is crippled.
We are the Republic.
They didn't have time.
That reflection moment.
They didn't have time to really explain the significance of those planets.
And then the realization moment that would have been perfect between like Leia and Admiral Akbar. It's like, wow, we're the Republic now. Because
that would have been cool.
That
would have been really cool.
And that would have happened.
Kind of wish they had that.
Exactly. Like that's what we're saying. We wish.
That's my biggest.
We wish what we wish. It's not like we're saying like, oh, it could have done that, could have done this. No, it's like, no, it should have done that. We should have seen that because
it would have enhanced the movie more.
Because there were some cool moments, like when Leia felt Han's death. That was powerful.
It's like
that
she
moment
still feels the Force.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know that
moment was great.
I think actually, you know what? I got 2 scenes in there that are that no, it's just 2. It's just 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that no, the thing about it is you can't really even count that as a scene. I was paying more attention to him dying. If they would have if it wouldn't have been on the fast forward button, I would be able to give you an accurate base by base, scene by scene.
Mm-hmm.
But because it went by so fast, the only ones that actually stick out to me is the Force getting, holding
the laser fire,
the laser,
Mm-hmm.
and Leia taking a second. Not even a whole scene. That wouldn't on a script. That wouldn't be counted as a whole scene.
Yeah.
So that was
a moment in a
beat,
scene. Yeah.
At best. And then the ending. And then I said to Tom, "Wow, that was painful to watch."
Because there was so much things where like you're giving us so much, and thing is, the audience ain't dumb, so our minds are working, and that's why I was like,
what about Finn? Did you expect more from him?
I didn't expect him to get offed and friend zoned like a bitch. He got, and I get like them.
Not even
and
bad.
Here's the thing. I understand that because our lead for the first time in Star Wars, the lead was a female.
Yeah,
I don't mind that.
Right? No.
That was
Hold
good.
on. I'm not saying that. To show how strong of an independent woman she is, she doesn't need a guy. I get them
she
getting.
doesn't need him to define her.
Yeah, and so I get them not being in a relationship. But the dude came back for you. It doesn't have to be like Lisa. Give him a kiss. When you kiss a guy on the forehead and say, "My friend," it's like he's already in a coma, girl. Why don't you just plug him?
Okay. So if we're gonna say that she's shown as an independent woman, when they do have that I'm gonna stay for her moment.
Oh, and he melted her like butter. Remember that one scene?
So is she really independent?
I'd say she's strong and independent.
Wait, what are you talking? Like, I'm gonna stay for her.
What I'm saying is when he told her why he was still with her is because he looked at her in the eyes and said, "No one ever looked at me the way you do," and that gave me strength and hope.
It's because he never had love. He never had a family.
Neither has she, and she got wooed and swooned, and she melted like butter. And it's like, so you feel something with them, and then it's like, and yes, to the best of her knowledge, all she remembers is Finn leaving before the First Order came and just messed shit up, and then she got captured. She doesn't know that he actually did come back then. To her, he only came back to find her. Yes, he didn't need to save her from the imprisonment because she was able to do it herself.
Yeah.
But the guy that made you a little hot under the collar came back, and that surprised you. That was like, he deserves a kiss right there. Come on, because you felt it when he said, "No one ever looked at me the way you did."
I think it would have been too soon, actually, if he just like that.
But
I don't
because
know.
it was such in the moment of like, "You're here," because she was ready to kill them when she came out with the blast. She was ready to kill them, and they're like, "Oh, it's us." And she's like, "It's you," and it's like that's the moment of like all the emotions are high, intensity's high, like quick kiss, and then you can bring it down, and then maybe have an awkward, funny moment of we just kiss, and Han's there like, okay.
I think
that would have been a great one-liner.
Yeah,
But again, I expected more from him. Like when I saw the preview, I really thought he was going to be using the Force. I expected that.
Finn? Oh yeah.
I expected him to be using the Force,
and then even with us,
just because he had a lightsaber.
Well, here's
he was featured a lot in the trailer.
But then it was how we saw him use it, and how he was able to wield it and own it. At first, the first time he came, he was a little like, but then he owned it in combat.
Only to get his ass kicked pretty bad afterwards.
True.
So his confidence was wrongly placed.
But again, I expected
he had courage though.
But he could own it, so it leads me to be like, maybe he has a little force in him because he owned it. He might have not been connected to it like Rey, but that dude owned it the time he held it. He owned it like it was like a part of him, part of his arm.
Yeah.
That it would have been cool to see more of that. And
because
then,
he was ready to actually fight the evil that he was going to run from originally.
Force,
he wasn't going to run anymore. He was going to take it head on.
But he still owned it, and that's why. And he was able to like.
Okay, again, I expected him what I was hoping for, and I think it would have been cool to see them side by side, regardless of their relationship status or whatever. Going into a love romance, it is an opera, so there are certain aspects that it needs, which is a love. There
should be a couple in it.
Yeah. That's how an opera goes.
Because we lost a couple. We lost half a couple.
I didn't want to see the love story just yet. I mean, I think there is one. I'm one of those Rey Finn shippers, as they would say, the kids would say nowadays. But I didn't want it to happen in this movie. I was like, save it for part 2.
You mean episode 8 and 9? Like, save it for those?
Save it for 8 and 9.
Yeah.
You know, but see, the thing about it is,
Yeah. And
this made me, with all the cons that we had and how fast paced it was, it doesn't make me want to see the next one because I'm already confused enough as is with this one, and I feel. You want to know how I feel?
how do you feel?
See, I'm gonna see it again.
I'm gonna have a Kylo Ren moment. I feel like I just had a quickie. and like the person just left. Like I just got their first name and they want me to call them back. That's how it feels like.
That's just right there. It feels like.
Yeah. So,
here's one thing I do like. So it doesn't sound like we're just ragging on. I liked the concept of the Star Killer, of Star Killer. That it's that destructive where it doesn't just destroy a planet. It can destroy 5, but in doing that, it does destroy an entire solar system because it soaks up a sun.
Mm-hmm.
I like that concept. So it shows the Republic and everyone else in the galaxy and then the universe that the First Order is that damn powerful that we're not going to just destroy a planet here and there into another. No, we're going to destroy a whole solar system and then finish you guys up with like 5 planets in that solar system until you bow down. That was a cool concept. It's the fact that it's like, oh, but to take it out, it's like Return of the Jedi, but 2015.
To be fair, they needed someone on the inside to like shut something down.
Like Return of the Jedi, you're landing down on the planet. I mean, yes, it's not the Star Killer was a planet at the same time, but you land down on a planet with a small group of forces led by Han. Use detonators to weaken the shield or to open up a hole for them, punch a hole through. Then an X-Wing, yes, it wasn't the Millennium Falcon that went in with an X-Wing, but an X-Wing still goes down a trench, inside, goes a little bit around in a circle, fires a couple of torpedo shots and laser shots, and leaves.
What I did like...
And if you're being funded by the Republic, how is your fleet only 15 X-Wings strong? If you're funded by the Republic, you have Admiral Akbar, where is Home 1?
By the way, acting-wise, just gotta say, I guess... not moments, so I don't miscorrect myself here. But one of my favorite characters, was one of the X-Wing pilots, and he was only in there for like 2 seconds. And he was like, if they replaced him with Chris Tucker, the movie would have been made for me.
I'm trying to figure out which one that was.
Wait, which one are you talking? Which one? What did he say?
He was the one black guy. There was only 2 black.
What did he say? What did he say?
I don't know, but it was funny. It was like Bill Cosby. You know, you're not really sure what he's saying, but it's funny.
And to put it in the fire,
fire
a torpedo in the hole.
Yeah,
gonna go home and get the medal.
That was funny, man. I mean, like, you know, there was funny moments, Travis.
Mm-hmm.
There was almost love moments. It stayed.
BB-8's thumbs up.
No, actually, BB-8. I think he flipped him off. My theory, and I'm gonna say it, he flipped him off.
Oh,
I think he.
Well, that still would have been funny because
that's why I laughed so hard
in the
because
theater.
when he did that, it was more of a like because first like Finn's like, thank you, you saved me, thank you, and he's like, bite me. That and it was with a fire thing, and the way the lighter the fire part was so positioned more towards the middle, I'm like, yeah, that was the middle finger, that was awesome, and I will fight that to the death. That he flipped him off. The BB-8 flipped him off because
it would have worked. It would have still worked.
Yeah, it made me laugh. That's just that. But out of those few moments, for us two, for me and Alex, it wasn't enough for us. It was more of us were just like, ugh. I'm glad you liked it. I'm glad you did.
I liked the villain.
I wanted to love it.
I mean, there's a few things I did. Couple things I didn't like.
We talked about the Republic. We talked about
which went to my original con, which was not enough space politics, which is so ironic because we were so sick of that with the prequel movies.
I kind of liked it,
and I think they left those scenes out like for that reason. It's like, okay, we tried space politics.
Maybe they're thinking too much about what they got to leave on and off. But then, what was the second con?
Another con was actually Star Killer Base, just because they realized it's like, oh, we're doing another Death Star. Again, I mean, the only silver lining...
It's just 100 times bigger.
It's just a bigger... like, they showed... it's not like a Death Star.
A big-ass cookie.
That's all that I thought.
It's not like a Death Star. Here's the Death Star, and then they showed a hologram, and this is Starkiller Base, and even Han's like, so it's just bigger.
Yeah, Han said what the audience was thinking.
And part of me is like, oh, is there another way? Like, I was like, all right, fine. You turned a planet into a Death Star. Please don't go the next step and turn a sun into a Death Star. Please, can we stop the...
That'd be weirdly crazy to do, technology-wise.
Can we not... It's like, by the time we get to episode 9, can we not have a Death Star again? And can we have some other threat that's just not a Death Star? That was another con. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then, to add on with the space politics, I did like that the remnants of the Empire just owned that Nazi imagery. At least they owned how evil they were. At least I'm like, you know what? You owned it. At least you owned who you are.
Stormtroopers, I wasn't laughing at the Stormtroopers this time.
Mm-hmm. I was like, oh, okay.
They massacred an entire village. I'm like, all right.
They finally learned how to shoot and aim, right?
I mean, they won't hit our main characters,
No, they never will.
Movie.
But they at least know how to shoot and aim now better. But
that was the joke of the century. Yo, okay, so here's my biggest thing in conclusion here. And I think this should be a 3-part conclusion for all of us.
Mm-hmm.
There wasn't enough for me to stay in it. It was going way too fast. At the same time, there was tidbits and funnies.
Mm-hmm.
The characters could have been a little bit more developed, but again, that's it going way too fast. And what I got from this conversation, that I hope the audience got from the conversation, because I loved listening for when you guys were talking your points, is that it was just copied and pasted by the creators. There wasn't enough brainstorming going into, that's what I felt like was going into it. So my conclusion of it was, the combo number 2, I got that at the beginning. I sat down with the other guy here, Tom Flores, and and we watched the movie, and then I was severely disappointed, like a bad paper cut.
Right. Your final thoughts and opinions. Your conclusion.
I enjoyed it the first time I saw it, and I enjoyed it even more the second time I watched it. It felt like the movie slowed down the second time, and maybe it's because I knew what was going to happen. I was able to look at it more. And I had the hype, but I remember trying to quell the hype, and I realized, there are a couple problems. But again, I still feel like this is the best Star Wars movie we've gotten since Return of the Jedi. And I just want, what it really, since it's starting a new trilogy, since it was very fast-paced, that's what I feel like, okay, we needed that. We needed something that was just good guys, bad guys, action and exciting. We don't want to be bogged down too much. We need to be welcomed back in. Did it have a lot of parallels to A New Hope? Yes. So did The Phantom Menace. And a lot of the other Star Wars movies have a lot of parallels to each other. If you watch them real closely, I noticed that when I was 5 years old. I was like, okay, there are major similarities with these. Mm-hmm. But
yeah,
there was a lot of new stuff for me to like too. I loved the characters. I loved all of the characters, especially the villain. I really liked the villain. I honestly liked how this villain was very different. Cinematography, fantastic. J.J. Abrams knows how to shoot an action scene. J.J. Abrams knows how to direct actors. Practical effects mixed with CG, wonderful. I am excited to see episodes 8 and 9 because this welcomed me back into Star Wars.
Okay.
I'm glad to be back. I'm glad Star Wars is back. And I hope Rian Johnson and Colin Trevorrow don't disappoint me with 8 and 9.
All right. My final conclusion is it wasn't good. To me, the new characters brought in, Poe was cool. I liked Poe.
Yeah.
Ray was good. It's just Finn and Kylo Ren and Hux I didn't like. I didn't like the fact that the 2 second-in-commands of the First Order the entire time were having a pissing contest. That, to me, was just... I didn't like it. I was like, why would you have a pissing contest with a dude who has a lightsaber from the Force and can off you like nothing? Come on. I didn't like Finn's character, how he switched from I need to get away from the First Order so bad. I need to get away as far as I can, girl. To me, I'm like, really? That's what that's it? That's what does it? I did like the moment though of the concept of Starkiller Base. I love that moment Leia had and Chewie had when they lost Han. That was a great moment. One thing I didn't like was that Rey got saved from the dark side by the writing, not her own choice. The earthquake between her and everyone was saying her cousin because people think Rey is Luke's daughter.
Disagree.
True. Yeah, we won't know.
Really hope not.
But when that earthquake separated them as Starkiller Base getting destroyed, that stopped her from going to the dark side. Not her own personal choice, like everyone else's choice to go good or bad. Like when Luke, before he killed his father, he's like, no, I'm not going to do it. She didn't have a motive, I'm not going to kill you. It's just earthquake, I was about to kill you. That's, to me, I'm like, so, no. So overall, I didn't like it. I am still going to see 8 and 9. I am going to, yes, they're different directors, it's going to look differently, I'm ready to go, but I'm still going to see it, and I hope this one's better. So that is going to conclude the first episode for Combo number 2. Thank you all for joining us. Really, we're really happy you all joined us. Thanks.
Oh, of course. I mean, please.
I hope you guys don't double team me on the next movie.
No, we won't.
but for all those listening that actually did like the movie, I guess I was here for you.
All right.
Keep watching this podcast because I might show up and be
here
for you.
Travis and Alex are going to keep returning, everyone. Thanks again. We'll catch you next time. See y'all later. Bye.
Later.
Bye.